Okay, so next up we have a problem where we're moving an object closer to the diverging lens and it will eventually reach the lens. So a diverging lens, if you've got it memorized, is that image is always going to be virtual, upright, and smaller. So diverging lenses are what your eyeglasses are made out of. So if you're kind of used to looking at people's eyes through eyeglasses, then you can see that their eyes, the image that you see of their eyes is certainly upright. And their eyes, if you look closely, look a little bit smaller. If you wear glasses, then you're probably used to the fact that things look a little bit smaller when you look through the eyeglasses. Any upright image from a single lens or mirror is always virtual too. Based on that, I definitely know that the image is always going to be virtual. And I can't tell just on that whether it's getting larger and larger, or smaller, or closer, or farther, but I definitely know that one's true. So let's draw a ray diagram or two to figure this out. So I have starting very far away, so I'll start it here. There's my object far away. I'm only going to draw two rays just to kind of expedite this. So we'll draw the one that goes through the center, and that is a very poor drawing of something that goes through the center. Rather than drawing my whole lens, I'm just going to draw the principal axis and the kind of thing that is perpendicular. So we'll have a ray that comes through here and goes like that. And then we have a ray that comes in toward that focal point. So it's sort of in directed like that and out parallel. And where they trace back is there. So this is virtual, upright, and smaller, just like I expect it to be. Let's keep going. So let's draw one getting closer. So we'll do kind of the same configuration. I'll try to keep that focal length distance to be about the same. If this is here, I'm going to try to keep about the same object size. And now we will still have something that comes in like that, and then something that comes in parallel and out through F. Those rays look like they're diverging, so that looks good. And there is that. These are certainly not perfect ray diagrams. They're kind of quick and dirty ray diagrams. But what is happening here is that this image arrow is getting bigger. And you can imagine that if we get to where now the object is basically right on top of the lens, so it's here, we're eventually going to reach a spot where that's going to go way straight down, and that will go in parallel and out through F. We're eventually going to approach this spot where the image and the object are going to be the same size. So what we're starting off with is a really small arrow, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as the object gets closer and closer. So the image keeps getting larger and larger, not smaller and smaller. The image is always going to be virtual. I could have crossed that off in the beginning. And the image is also getting closer and closer to the lens, so it starts out that far away, and eventually it's pretty much right smack on the lens, so it's also getting there. It can't be getting both closer and smaller, so it's only getting closer. So that's A, C, and E are all correct. So next is kind of another one of these reason out what's going on with the lens question. So we have an object placed in front of a thin lens, and we haven't been told whether it's a converging or a diverging lens. And actually, these are written in convex-concave language, so just to make that clear. The convex is the one that bulges out in the middle, so that's going to be the one that looks like that. And the concave is the one that caves in the middle, so it's going to look like that. So that's our diverging lens. and the one on the top is the converging lens. Okay. We just did what goes on with the diverging lens. It's always virtual, upright, and smaller. So if we have our concave lens, the image must be virtual. That's true. I'm good with that. The converging lens is the one that flips from being real to virtual. So as you start off far away, we'll draw focal points like that, and do in parallel, out through F, in through F. Oof. Do a better job of drawing your ray diagrams than I am. In through F and out parallel. That's your real and upright, real and inverted image. And this is always true. Whenever an image is real, it's also inverted. So real images are always inverted, virtual images are always upright, so that can't be true. So we know that it can be real. We also know that anytime the object for any lens or mirror is inside the focal length, that will result in a virtual image. So we know that it could either be real, which we just drew, or it could be virtual. So it will never be virtual, no. It must be real, no. It could be real or virtual. If the lens is convex, so converging, the image must be virtual, so no. So C and E are the only correct answers there. Just to practice showing what a virtual image would look like in here. Here's my object inside of F. So I'll put my object inside of one of my focal points. We'll go in through the center as one of my rays, and then we'll go in parallel out through F as another one. These are diverging, so they're going to imagine meeting somewhere back there and making an upright and virtual object. Whoops, which you, of course, cannot see. Sorry about that. So we started off with a lens with the object inside the focal length. I drew one that went straight through the middle and another one that went in parallel and out through F. These two rays are diverging from each other behind the lens, so we have to imagine them coming from a spot all the way back there, which would be the location of the virtual image. So there's a real image and a virtual image, both formed by that convex or converging lens.